The following is an exclusive presentation of the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the AHSAA Radio Network.
Won their 5th straight state championship and their 13th overall.
Hello everybody and welcome into another edition of Inside the AHSAA Weekly, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores throughout Central Alabama. We want to thank Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores for being our longtime sponsor here on the AHSAA Radio Network. We got an exciting show for you today as the AHSAA High School Football Playoffs enter the semifinals in classes 1 through 6A, and the 7A championship already set, as that was set last week. We'll talk about those games, plus the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Football Classic coming up in a couple of Mondays at Crampton Bowl. I know a lot of people excited about that. A star-studded lineup on both sides for both Mississippi and Alabama coming into this game. We'll talk about that and a lot more here on Inside the AHSAA Weekly.
Even the best of us forget sometimes. But buckling up is one thing you always want to remember.
Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Take it easy. Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt? Coke Zero! Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste! Zero.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the AHSAA Weekly, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores throughout Central Alabama. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you this week to discuss the 1A through 6A semifinal matchups and, Randy, the 7A championship game already being set, as there's only 3 rounds in the 7A classification. It's 2 new teams facing off in Jordan-Hare Stadium in 2 weeks.
And 2 new teams that have not won state championships for quite some time. When you start with Central Phoenix City, their last state title coming back in 1993. I know a little bit about that one, as we, Benjamin Russell and myself, played against them in the quarterfinals that year, lost a heartbreaker 7-0, and they move on and defeat West End for a state championship, coached by Coach Trawick over at Phoenix City. Coach DuBose had them knocking on the door ever since. He's been at the helm there at Phoenix City. They've made a number of different trips to the semifinals, but finally getting over the hump and making it to the state championship round. If you look at his record in his 5 seasons at Phoenix City, 53-9, and this is a guy that's coming over from Prattville, was an assistant coach for some state title winners at Prattville, goes to the head coaching reign, does the same thing, wins a state championship there at Prattville. Coach DuBose, an exceptional coach, and he's got a very special group here in the state championship game.
Yeah, he does, and he'll face another coach that moved over from Spanish Fort with a career record of 197-49. Mark Freeman led Spanish Fort to several state titles and then went up to a program at Thompson that really, in 7A, in that region was the stomping mat up there. Let's just be honest about it, but they're not anymore. As he's built that program up, you called that with our group several years ago. You said, watch what Mark Freeman will do at Thompson High School, and he has. He's got them in a 7A championship.
50-7 in 4 years at Thompson. It's amazing. They haven't won a state championship since 1982. He understood that region from Bessemer. Coached that Bessemer Academy team to 4 state championships, and AHSAA had a couple of more runner-up appearances over a 9 or 10 year stretch that he was the head coach at Bessemer Academy. Coach Freeman can just do it as well as anybody. He's won, and Coach DuBose. There's 2 guys in the state championship round that you've gotten to know extremely well because you have interviewed both of these guys several times over the years, and we've actually had Coach DuBose do some broadcasts for us.
Yeah.
He's outstanding on the airwaves, by the way. But, this is a game that I think both communities will come out and support these teams well. I think they'll both travel well. And the best part of it, though, Brett, I can't point to one or the other that I feel like is going to run away with this thing.
I think it's going to be a phenomenal football game. It's loaded with Division I talent.
Tons of Division I talent, tons of top-tier Division I talent that we're going to see out there on the field. In the championship, in the semifinal game against Hoover, Talia Tungavailoa really put on a show, having to take that team the full length of the field to close it out with a 31-28 victory was impressive. Phoenix City, too. Phoenix City was getting beat pretty handily by Robert E. Lee early in that football game.
Credit that team.
They come back from a couple of scores down, Brett, hit a 49-yard touchdown pass with 8 seconds left.
Man.
And it was kind of a little crossing pattern. And, he just moved his way down the field for that 49-yard touchdown to get Phoenix City to a state championship game. Unfortunately, I'm still back in '93. They did the same to us. We actually fell down in coverage.
That's right.
And
nasty field.
Hit about a 50 or 60-yard pass down to about the 4 or 5 yard line, and they get into the end zone with about a minute left in the ball game, and that's how they got over for their last state championship. So they're a really good community as far as youth athletics go. So I'm interested to see how many people show up at Jordan-Hare Stadium coming up.
A lot, and you need to come out on Wednesday to watch these 2 play each other. This is the first time since when Thompson defeated Hoover. The first non-Hoover school, and when we say non-Hoover school because Spain Park has been to the state championship game since, to reach the large school state finals for the first time since 1999. That includes 6A and then now 7A. For the first time since 1999, it's 20 years that a non-Hoover City school will not be in the state championship game.
That's what Mark Freeman's done at Thompson. The facility is second to none. The support that Alabaster community has given to that football program and other sports, Brett. That's not the only sport they're successful in. They're new to the wrestling game. They've won 5 or 6 state titles in their first 10 years of existence on that side. Baseball is outstanding. Basketball, they're on the up. Girls and boys on both sides. So Thompson's a school that we can start talking about in 2018. It's not going to end anytime soon.
No, that'll be Thompson at 12-1. Central Phoenix City at 13-0. Phoenix City's been the #1 team in 7A for majority of the season. But it will be, since you and I have been calling state championship games approaching 10 years now, it'll be the first time we will not see a Spain Park or a Hoover representing the North. It'll be neat. Not that anybody on here is pulling for one school or not, because I like Coach Niblett a lot. I mean, I've got all the respect in the world. And then, Chip Lindsey was at Spain Park before he moved on to coach at Auburn and move on from there. So they've had some great coaches coach up in that school system. But you can bet Josh Niblett and Hoover, they'll take this and they'll process it, because that's the kind of coach he is. Randy, we'll go on to a break here in just a second. We'll talk about the semifinals in classes 1A through 6A and the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game coming up on December the 17th. That's a Monday at Crampton Bowl, and this one is star-studded, both on the Alabama and the Auburn side. These are 2 rosters, and we've been seeing these teams for a long time, calling these games on the network, but this one here may be as loaded as we've ever seen for both teams. We'll go ahead and take another break here on Inside the AHSAA Weekly. When we come back, we'll break down the semifinals in 1A through 6A and talk about that Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game in a couple weeks.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us forever.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More
to come.
More Wilson.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
At Chicken Salad Chick, we understand the holidays can get hectic. That's why we've got your holiday party needs wrapped up with a pretty bow on top. From takeout to full service, we cater to any crowd this holiday season. Grab your favorite quick chicks or side items to go, or please your guests with a chicken salad sandwich platter, pimento cheese jingle ball, or pumpkin cheesecake. We believe you should focus on making the memories while you let Chicken Salad Chick make the food. Now go enjoy it. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the AHSAA Weekly, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores. Talked in the last segment about the 7A state championship game between Thompson and Central Phoenix City. We'll move into the semifinals this coming Friday, Randy, for classes 1A through 6A.
You know, the best part of this, before you even get started with the matchups, is how many really close games we got in the quarterfinals, and maybe some of the classifications that we expected some teams to run away with. And that just is not happening this year. I think the depth of talent here in the state of Alabama and the depth of quality teams in the state may be at an all-time high.
Yeah, I definitely think there are. And let's go through some scores from last week before we get into it. In Class 1A, Lynette will not be going for 3 state championships now, as they were knocked off by Maplesville. I don't think anybody's really surprised by Maplesville. They are a constant in the state championship games, but Lynette moves from 2A to 1A, and a lot of people felt like they were the team to beat, but Maplesville said, look, we've been around in 1A football for a long time. We know how to win. So they knocked Lynette off there. And in Class 2A, you look down, it's Fife getting over Ohatchee 21-13. Fife will be going for another shot at a state championship if they can get through this coming up semifinal. Those are 2 teams, Randy, there in 1A and 2A that you hear all the time.
And here's the matchups for 1A and 2A. You got Maplesville at 11-1 on the road at 12-0 Linden. Pickens County at 9-4. They'll be on the road at Mars Hill Bible. That one's in Florence, Alabama. And in Class 2A, you got Laverne, 12-1. They're on the road at Highland Home. And then Aliceville, 11-2, will be on the road at 13-0 Fife. Highland Home, good story. Can't remember seeing that team this far in the playoffs. Can you?
No, not since we've been doing it. And a great season, obviously. They'll be taking on a team that has a long history in football in Laverne. So Highland Home, yes, congratulations, making it to the semifinals. They look, one of the goals, obviously, when you start playing football in the summer and getting ready for the season, is to be playing this coming up weekend, because you're one game away from playing for a state championship, and Highland Home has that opportunity against Laverne. Aliceville will be a formidable opponent for Fife. They're a great football community. They always do well, but Fife right now, 13-0, nobody's shocked by that. We'll move into Class 3A scores from last week. You look at Piedmont and Randolph County. Piedmont defeated Westminster Christian 27-26, had to squeak it out. They'll take all Randolph County now. Randolph County been the number one team in 3A most all year. They defeated Sachs 19-8, and in Class 4A, it's the same group that you hear all the time. Andalusia, UMS Wright, Aniana, and Dessler all move on to the semifinals. UMS Wright, your defending state champs in Class 4A, they had a tough one against American Christian. American Christian had the ball driving, and they win 21-19.
Here's the matchups there in Class 3A. It's Providence Christian 12-1 on the road at Flomaton 10-3. Randolph County 12-1 on the road at Piedmont 11-2. In Class 4A, it's Andalusia, who's really had a comeuppance here of the last few weeks. Maybe a down year, many thought, and they're not seeing that at all. As Andalusia's 9-4 on the road at undefeated, and defending Class 4A state champion UMS Wright 12-0. Aniana 10-3 is on the road at Dessler 8-5. I'll piggyback off what you said. A lot of these teams we see year in and year out.
Yeah, we do. We've seen both of those teams quite a few times in the state championship games. Moving into our final two classifications, Class 5A and Class 6A, some scores from last week. Greenville knocked off Ramsey 27-13. Viger shut down a very good Demopolis team 27-7. Here maybe is one of the biggest stories of the year. Central Clay County 35, Etowah undefeated at home, got beat 35-13 by Danny Horn, who returns to his home county to take up the head coaching job at Central Clay, the newly merged school a few years ago, and he's got them right there in the semifinals to take on Mortimer Jordan in a rematch, Randy. That's the game where Clay Central blocked the field goal. Mortimer Jordan scooped it up and ran it in to beat them. They returned back to Mortimer Jordan for another shot here, and what Danny Horn's done in 1 year at Central Clay is amazing.
It is amazing, and the way that they've won these games in the playoffs have really been eye-opening. They're down 19-16 in the second round on the road at Madison Academy, which is a very tough place to play. Come back and win that one easy, 44-19. And last week against Etowah, it was amazing to see what they did in the early going right there.
Blowout.
Just really taking it to them, and Etowah scoring a couple of times late in that football game to make it, 35-14.
Blowout.
He'll be tough. He'll be tough to beat in Class 5A. But Viger really special again this year. And when they have teams like this, they're tough to defeat in any class.
That's right. So it'll be Viger taking on Greenville there in the south part of 5A. Move over to 6A here to close this segment out. Saraland knocked off Opelika 24-19. Wetumpka, for the second consecutive year, defeat Spanish Fort 21-17. And in the north, Pinson Valley knocked off Homewood 48-7. This is a runaway train. Clay Chalkville, the same, hitting their stride. Blew out Oxford 45-9. That is going to be a whale of a matchup in the north there.
Yeah, Clay Chalkville 12-1 on the road at Pinson Valley 11-1. I don't even know where to begin. I think that both of these teams saw one another in the regular season.
That's Clay Chalkville's only loss.
And that's their only loss, and Pinson Valley gets them at home this year, so it should be an outstanding football game. But Wetumpka, the big storyline right there, I'll tell you what kind of program they've got, Brett. They lose maybe their all-time best quarterback that they've had in school history into his senior year, has a leg injury, has a knee injury. He's moving on to play in the SEC, by the way, and they're able to just keep things going and make it to a semifinal round. That speaks volumes about what kind of program's being built at Wetumpka.
It does. We're out of time here. Won't be able to cover the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, but we will cover that next week in depth as we'll be a week closer to that game. Stay tuned. We'll close it out right after this.
At Chicken Salad Chick, we understand the holidays can get hectic. That's why we've got your holiday party needs wrapped up with a pretty bow on top. From takeout to full service, we cater to any crowd this holiday season. grab your favorite quick chicks or side items to go, or please your guests with a chicken salad sandwich platter, pimento cheese jingle ball, or pumpkin cheesecake. We believe you should focus on making the memories while you let Chicken Salad Chick make the food. Now go enjoy it. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
No, wrong! Bring it in, guys. Take a knee. Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero.
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste! 0 calories!
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisals. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full-service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website, selandgroup.com.
What do you see when you think about your future?
Do you see determination that keeps you going, that helps you make a difference in your world?
Do you see challenges that make you stronger?
Southern Union State Community College realizes that your opportunities for greatness are unlimited. Your journey has just begun.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the AHSAA Weekly. We again want to thank Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores for sponsoring all of our AHSAA radio network broadcasts throughout the state. This program is a weekly program. We appreciate all of you out there watching and listening wherever you might be finding us. Again, semifinal action 1A through 6A coming up this Friday. The 7A championship game set between Thompson and Central Phoenix City looks to be a really good one. Next week, we will talk about the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Classic that will be at Crampton Bowl this year between two really star-studded lineups this time. Josh Niblett, the head football coach for the Alabama team, has a star-studded assistant coach and staff. Also on there, Pat Nix. We'll talk about that more in depth, but great players on both sides for Mississippi and Alabama. You don't want to miss it. We'll talk about it next week on Inside the AHSAA Weekly. It's going to wrap it up here for this week. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next week.